Hi there, welcome to Intro to Product Design at GitLab. My name is Michael Lee, and I'm a senior product designer here at GitLab. And over the couple of years that I've been here, I've been able to work on navigation, settings, the editing experience, and today I have the pleasure of walking through this course about the intro of product designs, where we're going to highlight these 3 points. What is product design? What does a product designer do? And what skills are essential to be a good product designer? So first of all, what is product design? Product design is working within the UI. So that could be looking at simplifying the UI so that it reduces the complexity when users are using the product, or it could be adding steps to help users prevent making mistakes, for example, deleting a project. Which way we end up going really depends on the situation and context, and it requires a lot of collaboration between designers with product managers, engineers, UX researchers, technical writers, other designers within the team, and of course, the users. This definition kind of encapsulates what product design is for me. It's to define and improve the interface and experience of using the product. So, what do we do as product designers? I like to think of it as connecting the problem to the solution. So this works from understanding what the problem is to what the solution will be and how it will be delivered to the user. This is the product development workflow within GitLab. I'm going to use this today to frame and walk you through how product designers come in at each of these stages throughout the whole entire workflow. The workflow is made out of 2 key areas, the validation track and the build track. And I'm going to go through each of these steps in detail as we go along on this course. So the first thing that we may have is to understand the problem. So this is looking at all the ideas in our backlog, the list of issues, and trying to make sense of it all. What we're trying to really do is trying to validate the problem. Are these issues the root cause of the problem, or do we need to do more research to dig deeper to find the answer? And at the same time, we want to know, how big is this problem? Is this problem affecting a small subset of our users or a large subset? And that will determine how we prioritize the work and where we focus our energies on. Once we've part of validating the problem is also to define the problem better. And here we will be looking towards using our personas, which is our map of our ideal user that would be in these different situations, and understanding the high-level path or the user journeys that they may go through to complete their task. Inside the user journey, there might be distinct steps in there, tasks or jobs that they need to do to achieve their goals. And what we're looking to do there is analyze and look at each of those individual tasks or jobs to help define them out, to validate them, to make sure that they're real experiences that our users have. The next step, after we've done validating and understanding problems with UX researchers and product managers, is time to look at how we might define the solution to the problem. And in these scenarios, these are some of the questions that may come up. What's the right component or pattern to use to solve this problem? Here we lean on design systems like our pajama system to help with understanding which components we should use in different scenarios and situations. And if we found a new way to use something, or if we've documented it, we are using it in a new instance, it's a good time for us as designers to go back and contribute back to pajamas by adding that extra information back to it. So once we figure out the right components and patterns, a UI needs text and language on there to help convey the action that we want users to do. So here we collaborate with product managers and technical writers to distill words into clear and concise UI text. And then we take this whole mix of feedback from users, product teams, our design systems, and put that into a visual design. And here we're looking at responsive designs, like how might this look on a large screen versus a small screen such as a mobile phone, whether the information hierarchy matches the visual hierarchy. So are we using large text for headings and titles, and does that match what people see on the screen in the order that they see it? And all of this is looking at creativity and constraints. And this is why I love doing this job, because it is giving you a lot of information and it's up to you to distill it into something that's going to be usable for users. And when we're talking about usability, we're also talking about accessibility. So this means looking at the interactions and color usage to make sure that it's accessible to all, so that anyone can use it in any context, whether they're using a keyboard, mouse, or touch device. Our product should be usable for everyone. So once we have our design, we validated our problem, the next thing we do is to check if these solutions that we've come up with achieves the goal of the if our solution achieves the goal by getting users to check the flows themselves by going through prototypes. Prototypes are a series of clickable images representing the flow that we want users to test, or it could even be a code build that represents this new flow. The idea here is that we're going to test with a small subset of users to build confidence in our solution by getting users to feedback on the different scenarios we put them through. We're not testing the users here, we're actually testing our solution. So after one round of solution validation, we may not be confident that our solution is correct. So we may have to do another or another. And we'll keep on doing this and refining what our solution looks like and interacts, how it all interacts in a flow, so that we're more confident that users will understand the final solution we propose. And that's the goal of this, is for us as a group to propose a solution that we're ready to go ahead to build with. And this is a collaborative effort between engineers, product managers, and designers. Once we're in the next phase of the build track, with plan, build, and test, what we're doing is breaking down large designs, large visions, large flows into smaller iterations. So here, from a design perspective, we're working with engineers and product managers to understand which certain areas of the designs can be simplified, what information is available at the moment, and what may come later at a later date. So understanding that, we can make decisions on maybe we don't need multiple, like all the design on day one. We can work towards building that up. And at the same time, as a product designer, we're also here to understand which trade-offs we're not willing to make, because that might sacrifice the end user experience. And this back and forth collaboration is what makes a good product. Once engineers have built something, by making small iterations, we're able to get things going a lot quicker and getting feedback about the build as soon as possible. And this kind of feedback loop from development to design and back to development is great ways to learn and incorporate the technical constraints into our designs. So during the launch and learn areas of the build track, from a product design standpoint, we help out with reviewing release notes and talking to customers if necessary about informing them that this new feature that we're working on or new improvement is coming out and being released. Once it's released, it doesn't mean that we're done. This is our learn and improve phase. So what we're looking here is to check into our product analytics to ensure that users are using it at scale and understanding if the goals that we set up to say that, you know, people clicked these certain events and these certain buttons in these orders, or they made it to a certain page, help with us measuring the solution effectiveness. Over time, we'll go back and check our current solutions through UX scorecards and system usability surveys to understand both at a high level and at a flow level how we're doing and if there needs to be any new improvements that we need to tackle sooner. And all of these things that we do during the learn and improve phase generates new questions and new ideas that then go feedback to the validation track, and we just repeat the process all over again. So what skills are essential for a good product designer? To me, these are the essential skills that would make a really good product designer. You're curious, you challenge assumptions made by users, the business, yourself, and you can validate them through solution validation or problem validations, and you're not afraid to ask questions like why, and I think that really helps dig in deeper to find root causes and able to unlock new insights. You also should have good communication, so this looks at how you can use storytelling to give an engaging presentation, how you might frame questions to users to ask things in a different way to entice more dialogue and questions and answers from user interviews, and articulating your design rationales of why we're going with a certain direction versus another solution. As a designer, you need to work on your craft, and this looks at understanding visual hierarchy, layout patterns, how you can prototype more realistic experiences so that you can do better solution validations, and understanding which interactions are the right ones to use and at which fidelity in the different phase of the whole product development workflow. And putting it all together is the attention to detail. So this is not really asking, hey, you need to know how to code, but this looks at, do you know how all the pieces of the code fit together? Do you know which parts are talking to which parts of the system? And this comes down to a deep understanding of your part of the product, because that's the only way you're going to deliver a better experience, by understanding how users get in and out of your flows, and as well as all the edge cases in between. And that's it for this course, but if you're looking to learn more, you can check out the product design roles and responsibility in the link here that will tell you about the different levels that we have within the product design team. If you want to know what we're doing from a UX team as a whole, you can check out the UX showcase, and this has different designers talking about the things that they're working through, different processes and different ways of working across our global design team. Thank you very much.